The scream ripped through Willow Creek like a blade through silk, shattering the lazy hum of a Saturday afternoon. In a suburb where lawnmowers droned and kids chased ice cream trucks, the sound was a violation. It came from 214 Maplewood Lane, where a battered black SUV idled, its door gaping like a predator's maw. A girl, barely 14, thrashed against a man in a cheap blue uniform, his badge of flimsy light glinting in the sun. Her father sprawled on the pavement, blood seeping from a gash above his eye, his phone skittering out of reach. Neighbors peered from porches, frozen as a second man, stocky and smirking, barked, "HOA enforcement! Stay back!" The girl's cries sharpened, her sneakers scraping as she was dragged toward the SUV. Then from a neighboring yard, a figure emerged, a man in a faded black tank top, silver hair cropped tight, a green beret tilted on his head. His voice was low, lethal. "Let go of my niece." The men froze, and that was their undoing. What happened next would burn itself into Willow Creek's soul, a tale of rage and redemption. It had been a typical Saturday, the kind where grills sizzled and sprinklers hissed. Ethan Caldwell, 39, a widowed electrician with steady hands and a heavy heart, was in his garage, wiping down tools with care. His daughter, Lily, tossed a tennis ball to their Labrador, Rusty, her laughter a bright thread in the suburban tapestry. At 14, Lily was all spark and stubbornness, her brown curls bouncing as she darted across the lawn. Ethan glanced out, catching her mid-laugh, and felt a flicker of peace. 3 years after his wife's death, these moments were hard won. Then came the screech of tires. A black SUV, paint chipped and menacing, rolled to a stop in front of their house. 2 men stepped out, their uniforms too crisp for their scuffed boots. The first, broad with a buzz cut and mirrored sunglasses, strode up the lawn like he owned it. His badge read Community Standards, but the stitching was sloppy. The second, wiry and twitchy, lingered by the SUV, eyes scanning the side yard. Ethan emerged, wiping grease from his hands, his gut tightening. "Who are you?" he asked, voice calm but sharp. "Caldwell." "Homeowner," the broad man snapped. "I'm a tenant." "What's this about?" Ethan replied. The man's smirk was a warning. "HOA enforcement. Complaints about an unregistered vehicle, unkempt lawn, and a minor causing trouble." Ethan's jaw clenched. "That's my daughter playing with our dog. Show me ID." The smirk vanished. "We don't need ID. Your girl's coming for questioning." Ethan's blood turned to ice. "Get off my property," he growled, stepping forward. Lily backed toward the porch, Rusty snarling. The wiry man moved fast, grabbing her wrist and yanking her toward the SUV. She screamed, a sound that tore Ethan's chest. He lunged, but the broad man shoved him hard, his head cracking against the pavement. Stars burst in his VY shown as Lily's cries grew desperate, the SUV's door looming. Ethan scrambled for his phone, fingers shaking, but he was too slow. "I'm losing her," he thought. Then came the voice, a growl of thunder. "Let go of my niece." Jack Thornton, 64, retired Special Forces, stepped from his yard, a storm in human form. His black tank top clung to a frame carved by decades of discipline, his green beret a badge of battles won. His eyes burned with a fury that promised reckoning. Ethan, struggling to rise, gasped. "Jack was trimming my hedges," Jack said, his voice gravel and steel. "Didn't expect to find cowards in fake badges." The men hesitated, a fatal mistake. Jack moved, not fast but INEVY table. In 3 strides, he reached the wiry man, his hand clamping the man's wrist and twisting until a pop echoed. Lily stumbled free, sobbing, as Jack hurled the man to the grass with a force that shook the ground. The broad man reached for a canister on his belt pepper spray. Maybe worse, but Jack sidestepped, landing a precise strike to his chest. The man gasped, collapsing. Jack zip-tied their wrists with nylon straps he always carried, a soldier's habit. "No games," he growled, standing over them. Ethan staggered up, pulling Lily into his arms. She clung to him, trembling. "It's okay, baby," he whispered, voice cracking. He dialed 911, words spilling out. Attempted kidnapping at 214 Maplewood. Suspects down. My daughter's safe. Neighbors stopped them. The dispatcher's questions faded as Ethan watched Jack, a sentinel over the bound men. Officer Sarah Delgado arrived minutes later, her cruiser cutting through the gathering crowd. Neighbors filmed on phones, some stunned, others whispering praise for the man in the beret. Sarah, mid-30s and sharp, stepped out, hand on her holster. What happened? She demanded. Jack's reply was curt. Two imposters posing as HOA officers tried to abduct this girl. I stopped them. She raised an eyebrow. IDs. Jack tossed their wallets at her feet. One held an expired license from Nevada. The other, a blank card and a fast food coupon. Pathetic, Sarah muttered, radioing for backup. 207, child abduction attempt. Suspect subdued. Send transport and child Sarah VYCS. Lily sat on the porch, wrapped in a blanket, Ethan's arm around her. Jack stood nearby, not out of need, but principle. Detective Mark Reyes arrived, his questions unearthing a chilling truth. The men, Carl Weaver and Derek Holt, were part of a scam targeting suburbs across the South. Posing as HOA enforcers, they preyed on single-parent homes, using fake badges and forged documents to extort money or, worse, abduct children. A burner phone in the SUV revealed texts about easy grabs and no security. The plan wasn't just fraud, it was trafficking. Ethan's stomach churned as the truth sank in. That night, as Lily slept fitfully, Ethan sat in the kitchen, staring at his blood-stained shirt. Jack slid a beer across the table. How'd you know? Ethan asked, voice raw. Didn't, Jack said. Heard a scream, saw a bully. Acted. Ethan's eyes burned. I froze, Jack. Jack leaned forward. You stood up. You called them out. That's why she's safe. Ethan nodded, gripping the bottle, resolve hardening. By morning, Ethan's phone video and ring footage flooded the internet. The fake HOA scam trended, news vans clogging Maplewood Lane. Ethan shared the story Lily's trauma, the scams recharging others to verify IDs and call police. His post hit 5 million views in 24 hours. Sir VY Vors from other cities shared similar tales, and HOA boards issued frantic denials. A senator called for federal oversight, citing abuses of false authority. But the real change was quieter. One evening, Jack sat with Lily on the porch, fireflies flickering. You okay, kid? He asked. Yeah, she said softly. Can I be strong like you? Jack smiled. You already are. You fought back. Lily's eyes gleamed with defiance, a spark born from Sir VYing. Carl and Derek faced charges of kidnapping, assault, and fraud, with more pending as the FBI traced their network. Jack started free self-defense classes in the park, teaching kids and parents to spot scams and fight back. Lily joined, her wrist grabbed sharp and sure. Ethan co-founded an HOA watchdog group, his garage now a hub for active VYSM. One day, a kid tugged Jack's sleeve. Are you a superhero? Jack chuckled. Just hate bullies. Months later, a letter from the Department of Defense arrived for Jack, praising his continued SARE VYC. He snorted but kept it. Lily, now 15, started a school safety club, her voice steady. Willow Creek had awakened. The scream that broke its peace had forged a stronghold, built on a soldier's instincts, a father's courage, and a girl's refusal to break. I had come, but it meant family, and family doesn't forget. If you were the one in this story, how would you react? Would you stand up and fight back, or accept the unreasonable pressure and control from the HOA? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this VY with more people. Your small action gives us the motivation to keep bringing you more intense and engaging stories. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next VY.